enough's enough, guys. Today we're gonna finally set up this 4-foot wine glass, turn it into an aquarium. We gotta clean this thing off first though, guys. I just hosed it down. It's been in storage for about a year. I got the idea to do this like 3 years ago, back in New Jersey for Aquatic Experience. Chris Lucup put together this super small wine glass, little shrimp display tank thing, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. I remember I put it on Instagram and people absolutely loved it, so I was like, A, okay, I gotta do something like that just for fun, and then B, I was like, if I could get a huge wine glass and do like an actual scape in it, that would be pretty sweet. So that's why I have this thing. My buddy picked this thing up for me at Costco, like I said, like a year ago, and I've had it ever since. The reason why I haven't set it up is because I'm pretty sure it's gonna explode once we fill it with water, okay? This is not meant to hold water, and it feels a little flimsy, so I don't know, we're just gonna scape it up here. We're not gonna put any livestock or anything in it until we know it's probably not gonna explode. Hopefully it never does, but I guess you never really ever do know. So yeah, I'm gonna go find some paper towels, grab my glass cleaner here, and then we're gonna get this thing all ready to go. So first up, we gotta get some substrate in here, guys. So we're gonna use the Brightwell Rio Cafe XF, and we're gonna probably fill it up to, I don't know, like maybe there. We want our plants to have a good substrate, a place where they can get nutrients from, and so it's always a good idea to start with something other than just sand or gravel. So I'm not sure if we want to be able to view this thing 360 degrees or not. I'm just going to let the substrate be level here, and as we plant it, I'll kind of think about it a little bit more. But the thing you'll notice about this wine glass is that it's pretty tall. Let me grab a ruler. This'll do. So from the substrate to the top, we're looking at about 15, 16 inches. So we're definitely gonna have to use some stem plants. And that's exactly what I have floating over here, guys. We have some needle leaf liguigia, kind of hard to see, but then we also have some rotala green, a bunch of this stuff. And so we need to get it out of this tank anyway. This scape is gonna be gone here pretty soon, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. I have a really fun one planned for you, but we have some plants to get started with here. But let's kind of think about the hardscape for this wine glass. We have a ton of dragonstone still left over from that last time I went to Aquarium Co-op, guys. I think some of these pieces, like vertically, would be pretty cool, but then again, like, it's not gonna be stable, so I'm not really sure how crazy we're gonna get with the hardscape. We could use some lava rocks that are left over from the haunted tank teardown, and we certainly still have a lot of wood here that I haven't cleaned up either. So maybe let's kind of grab some pieces here that have already gone through the decay process. If we went with fresh spider wood, we'd probably get a nasty little ammonia spike and a lot of fungi and stuff. We won't have that happen if we use this stuff. This wood was completely waterlogged like 3 days ago, but now it feels really lightweight. I have a feeling it's gonna float up. If it does, it should waterlog again relatively fast though. We're gonna just have to roll the dice and see what happens. But one thing about this hardscape, we're keeping it really simple here, guys. We need a lot of space to plant the stems, okay? So we need to keep that in mind. This thing, the goal of it is just to be a crazy stem monster, almost like a Dutch style tank, but we have a little bit of hardscape. So I guess it's not really a Dutch style. Well, whatever. You know what I mean. So let's go ahead and let's fill this thing up and hope that it doesn't explode. Okay, let's just keep it here for now, guys. This thing is super sketchy. Like, I don't trust this base at all. Obviously, this is not a big, it's not big enough to really support this thing with full of water, you know what I mean? It's not supposed to, so let's just kind of go from here. Let's fix our wood situation, and then let's just plant it real quick. I know this looks super sketchy, guys, but I promise you it's almost not, okay? Because we wanted to be like as minimalist as possible here, right? We obviously can't put like a light fixture across the top of it here. So I have the old Denelay light from upstairs, and I couldn't get the bracket to fit on the glass here. So what I had to do was I put the metal rods on the inside, and I'm using the cord here really tight, wrapped around the pole here. The glass, the glass, and then I tied it off here at the bottom. So there's enough tension here to where, you know, it's loose, but it's not really gonna fall in or anything, I think. And, you know, I don't know, I think it looks pretty clean. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below, alright? Now, check it out. So, obviously, we got a lot of distortion here due to the shape of the wine glass, so it kind of looks funky, like certain things look a lot closer and farther away or whatever. If we get up here in the front of the tank, like the Monte Carlo looks good, it's just when you start looking kind of from different angles, it starts to look a little weird. But that's just what you gotta deal with something like this. So guys, we're gonna run this without a filter because of the obvious reasons, like it's just gonna be too much to try and figure out how to filter this thing. We could run like a little sponge filter in the back. That's definitely something we could do, but we're gonna try and go with no filter on this one. I think we have enough stems in here to where as long as they grow well, then we shouldn't have to worry so much. And we're not really gonna put too much of anything in here, guys. We're not, you know, this isn't gonna be like a serious tank that has a lot of livestock. At least at this point. I mean, who knows? We got to make sure that this thing doesn't explode first. But this is looking super cloudy. Let's check in on this thing maybe tomorrow, see if it's still intact, and if the water's a little bit more clear so we can check out the plants. Welcome back to the wine glass, guys. It's actually been, I think, 3 or 4 days since we set it up. I wanted to make sure all the plants were pointing up in the right direction. Always takes them a while to acclimate and get used to where the light is, but everything's looking really good in here. The water's looking super clear despite the fact that we don't have a filter on here. I just went ahead and cleaned a little bit of the front of the glass, so you might see a little bit of floating material in here. That should settle down here. Everything's just going to sink to the bottom, and that should be okay. I don't think we're going to run into any issues with the no filter thing, guys. We did add the nitrifying bacteria, so they will find themselves somewhere in here, and if ammonia becomes present, then they should handle that and do everything that they would normally do in a filter, just on different surfaces, the substrate, the leaves of the plants, etc. So this is all fine and cool, but I don't want this thing to live right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and drain it down, and we're gonna find somewhere to put this where it can hang out for, you know, a couple weeks. Just finished filling the wine glass back up, guys. I think it's gonna make a good home here, right? Like it's out of the way. It's certainly better than it was over here. I need to do some cleaning, but guys, I mean, I'm starting to think that this isn't gonna explode, right? Like, let me knock on wood somewhere. I think if we were brave enough to try fishing here, guys, fancy guppies would be really fun. Obviously, we could go with like a betta fish. There's a lot of hiding space in here. I think it'd be a pretty good environment for one. Of course, nano fish like we have over here in the Avatar tank. Any kind of nano fish would probably work out just fine. Let me know what you guys would put if you had this wine glass in your house. What fish would you like to put in it? Let me know down in the comments below and help me maybe come up with some ideas for if that time eventually does come. I think this might make a really good home for some invertebrates. I don't think anybody's going to be able to scale this type of a gap, and there's no way we're going to be filling this thing up more than it is right now. If I just come over here and wiggle it a little bit, the whole thing just kind of shakes like a skyscraper in a windstorm or something. So we're going to be very careful. No access through this French door. I mean, I'm going to have to be kind of careful, but it's out of the way enough. I think we're going to not have any issues with bumping into this thing. Over the next week or so, we're going to have to really keep our eye out for a film on the top of the surface here, guys. You remember I did a video recently looking at the experiment tanks. Those developed a film because there was no water movement. Obviously, there's no water movement in this thing pretty much at all. So the film is something to be concerned about, but luckily it's pretty easy to take care of. Just grab some hydrogen peroxide, spray it, move the water around a little bit, and it shouldn't be something that persists in an environment like this as long as the plants are doing really well, they're growing, and we don't have a bunch of excess carbon in the water. It's going to be really fun to see if the needle leaf Laguigia turns red in this wine glass. I think that'd be pretty cool. I mean, just imagine the stems all the way up to the top of the water here. I think it'll look really, really good. Everything seems like it's getting a decent amount of light. Even the Monte Carlo down here in the front seems like it's doing pretty well. It likes where it is for the time being. And I have a decent view of it over here on the couch. When I'm playing video games, I can look over, not only see Ancient Gardens, but now I got this thing to look at. So I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, guys, that's the giant wine glass tank. I think now that we've done that, we need to go back and do like some little small wine glasses. I think that'd be pretty fun too. I have more Monte Carlo, got a lot of pieces of, you know, small hardscape that we could put in there and do that. That might be kind of fun. So I think I'm gonna kind of start brainstorming and working on those. And I'm also gonna be putting some more fish over here into the forest tank. That's gonna be the video that I'm working on next. We got a couple in here already, but we got a lot more to put into this tank. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit a like if you like the wine glass tank, and we'll see you in the next one.